Hello everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for a catch-up, a reading catch-up, and just an end of the week catch-up. Sorry, it's Friday and I'm off today, and I have behind me this little bookcase, old Pier 1 bookcase. I'm on the floor. This is in my office. I have a map, that you've probably seen in videos with some stickers on it. And I just have like a whole miscellany of books here, just fiction, nonfiction. I have this lovely picture of Suki that my daughter put in a frame. Looks kind of funny right there, but up close, it's adorable. I have a wonderful soy candle with a wooden wick that she made, and I wish she would make some more because her scents are amazing and subtle. I have a picture of my sister and I from quite a while ago, and I have my collection of what are these things called? Pens that have things moving in them. This is the Pittsburgh incline going up and down the hill. I used to collect these wherever I went, and I still look for them. I think this is the last one I bought, which is a ketchup bottle from the Heinz Museum in Pittsburgh. It's the tomatoes that are moving, not the Heinz bottle. But yeah, it's been fun to just look at different pens and remember where I found them, because sometimes I'll even look in the airport of the place where I'm leaving. They're harder and harder to find, but yeah, it's fun. Anyway, okay, what have I been reading? It's been an interesting reading week. I'll tell you why. First, I think I might have said in my other video that I finished Drive Your Plows Over the Bones of the Dead. I don't remember, but I did finish it. And it is, I mean, I love Olga Tokarczuk's writing. I will definitely be reading another one of her books, just not right away, because it's a wonderful style of writing. This is the story of, what's her name? Janina? Yeah, in a remote Polish village. And the way that she subtly builds the story of Janina's interactions. Janina's an older woman. It's not really given what her age is, but maybe 65 to 70. And as the story unfolds, you learn more and more about Janina and her interest in horoscopes and her love of animals, even more so than humans. And it's really left up to you. How do the people in the town think she's crazy? Is she crazy? Is she going crazy? And then there is a plot line of people showing up dead, and Janina is trying to solve the mystery. The town and the police are trying to solve the mystery, and then at the end, the mystery gets solved. Very interesting, very intense book, very well done. I read a review of Olga Tokarczuk in the Paris Review, which I got at the library, and it's so fascinating. If you are able to get your hands on the Paris Review, the latest one, and read her interview, it tells you a lot about the subjects of her books, her upbringing. And then I've been reading the Shards, which is a big surprise because I didn't think I would keep reading after the first few pages. And I've got myself like 150 pages in. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it though. I really love the writing, and this is a story about teenagers in LA in the 1980s. It's like 1981. and the scene of Mulholland Drive and that whole beautiful area is very interesting. But the music that they're listening to is the music that I listen to, and the pulp culture at the time is something I can really relate to. And at this time in this area, there is they're piecing together that there might be someone that's breaking into houses, and also that could be the same person who is killing young women. I don't know if I'm gonna, this is such an intensely specific book, and it's so long. I haven't decided yet whether I'm keeping it or giving it back to the library. So we'll see, because I have so many other things I want to read. I don't know. But I did read and finish The Birthday Party. Another intense story. Intense because of the plot line, and I will give nothing away at all in this video, because part of the pleasure and experience of this book is really not knowing very much. And I don't think the blurb, the blurb doesn't really give very much away. And I didn't read the whole blurb because I really just wanted to be just not knowing very much, other than it takes place in a rural hamlet, and that it's about a husband and wife and their daughter, Ida, and then their neighbor, Christine, who's an artist. And I loved the first half of the book, just laying out the characters. The thing that I love the most about this book, regardless of what happens later, is that somehow this author is able to get inside the heads of the characters in a way that is seamless, and you could be in the side of the husband, and then you can get inside of the thoughts of Marion, his wife, and somehow you don't know how you got there. And it's done so seamlessly, brilliantly, uniquely. So that was what just kept driving me through this book, is the writing. I don't know about what happens later in the book. I don't want to say anything. But I love the writing, and I will look for anything else Laurent Mauvignier has written that's been translated. That's what I think about that. So that was an intense book. I started a little bit the Rehearsal by Eleanor Catton. It really didn't work for me. I just wasn't interested in the first few pages, so I didn't continue. St. Sebastian's Abyss by Mark Haber. The other books captured me so much that the writing in the very first part of this book just felt like very didactic. And if I didn't have other books like The Birthday Party and the Shards that I was reading, I might have stuck with it, but I don't think I'm sticking with it. So that's that. Then, so yeah, I'm going to make up my mind about this and the time commitment. Then I also had Jennifer Croft's Homesick. I love this cover so much. But this is a memoir, but it's autofiction, I guess, because Jennifer uses a story of two sisters, and one of the sisters is sick growing up, and the older sister, whose name I think is Amy, is extremely intelligent. She ends up going to college when she's 15 in Oklahoma. And Zoe. Interesting relationship with the mother, and it's got pictures in it, and you wonder, are these real family pictures? And why does it say memoir? But she's writing about Amy and Zoe, but I've heard that she's actually Amy in the story. And I don't know, but it's compelling, and I just keep going, and it's a very quick read, so I'm almost done, and I'm just going to keep going and finish it. I started reading Cursed Bread, and I was liking it, but then it did get crowded out with the other books, so I don't know if I'm keeping it or not, or if I'll just try it later. Maybe come back to it. I don't know. So that's that. I wanted to show you some things I picked up at the Goodwill store, which I go to every couple months to look for books because, as you might have noticed, I don't buy new books very rarely. Sometimes if I really want to own a book, like the Trollope series, the Barchester Towers, I'll just look for them on eBay and get them very cheaply used with free shipping. So they're like $4 each. But I don't do that very often. Every once in a while, I feel like I really want to own a series, but just doesn't happen very often. So at Goodwill, if you go on Mondays, and if you're over 55, then you're considered a senior. And I fit into that category. So then the books are 25% off. The books that are $1 and $2 are 25% off. So I've really built my collection by going to Goodwill at lunchtime on a Monday. And I only pick up the stuff that really grabs my eye. So not very much contemporary fiction, but every once in a while I will see something that that's contemporary that I'll pick up. So I wanted to show you what I found, because what I'm usually getting there are classics. And I ended up finding I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. And I've heard a lot about this book over the years. It tells the story of a 17-year-old Cassandra and her family who live in not so genteel poverty in a ramshackle old English castle. I don't know anything about Dodie Smith. Oh my goodness, this has a library card in it. Oh my, can I tell how old it is? It says room number, so this is gonna be a school book. Oh gosh, it's gonna love that. There's no other markings on it. Yeah, 1948. I really don't know anything more about Dodie Smith. So if any of you do know anything more about Dodie Smith and why this has just become a classic, then share it with everyone. Then, since I am just loving the Tolstoy experience, I am very interested in reading more Russian literature. So I got this Tolstoy. It's a Penguin classic. It did end up ripping a little bit when I took off the big price sticker. But this is The Death of Ivan Ilyich and Other Stories. And that other story is The Cossacks and Happy Ever After. A few people that I'm connected with on Bookstagram who read a lot of Russian literature have read these stories. So I knew that I needed to pick that up. And then Ivan Turgenev, Father and Sons. These are people that are writing around the same time. And I don't know anything about Turgenev, but I have heard and seen people reading Fathers and Sons. And then I found another Carson McCullers book, which I didn't even know existed, called The Member of the Wedding. The novel that became an award-winning play and a major motion picture and that has charmed generations of readers. Carson McCullers' classic, The Member of the Wedding, tells the story of, this is the story of a 12-year-old who really wants to go, because she's very bored in life, to her older brother's upcoming marriage. It just sounds darling. I haven't read the first Carson McCullers. The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. Is that what it is? And then I did find a contemporary author, and it's Claire Fuller, and this is Swimming Lessons, and it's from 2017. And so I thought I would pick it up. I know Claire Fuller from the other more recent book she read, which is, oh gosh, what is it? It's the book where the main character is living with her mother and she works at the newspaper and she's given an assignment to check out the story where a young woman is saying that she had a baby and it was an immaculate conception. I'm blanking on the title. I'm sure one of you will remind me what it is, but that's a story I wouldn't normally like. I don't know why, but I guess it's just fantastical, and I think it happens a little bit in the past. because I don't think there's technology or anything. But I really liked it. So when I saw this, I had never heard of swimming lessons, and so I thought I'd pick it up for the bargain that it was. I think those are all the books I have to talk about. I am still reading Barchester Towers. I didn't bring it in with me. It's in the other room. And loving every minute of it. Eleanor, the daughter, the widowed daughter of Mr. Harding, is just in the middle of trying to tell people she doesn't want to marry the guy that everyone thinks that she is going to marry. And she never liked him in the first place, but now she's not really in the mood to tell people that, because they've really ticked her off, because everybody was trying to talk her out of marrying this one character in the story. But now she's like, I'm not even going to tell them that I never liked him, and that in fact I agree with them that he's a jerk. And there's other male characters that are interested in her, and it's just, the writing is so intelligent, I guess is the big draw with Trollope. It really is. It's just, I'm not really a person who would be interested in love stories in the 1800s, but this is more than that. This is like real people written in a real way and funny. I just wanted to, I put a note here to remind myself to talk about some of my favorite podcasts that I wanted to share with you in case I haven't mentioned. The Backlisted podcast is just a classic, and I recommend it. It's a British podcast. The Book Club Review with Kate and Laura is just my standout favorite, and I just jump on any new podcast episode that they have, and I would highly recommend following them on Instagram if you have an Instagram account, because Kate does the Sunday night weekly catch-ups, and I watch them on Monday morning through Instagram. And then the Bookcast Club, so that's Sarah, Chris, and I forget, Jenny, I think is the third, and they take turns doing shows. Sometimes they're all together. I've listened to multiple episodes twice because I just need a fix. I love them. Chris lives in Indianapolis, Indiana. Jenny lives in the UK, and Sarah is Australian, but she lives in the Netherlands. And they have just turned me on to so many books. Every one of these podcasts I'm talking about, everyone has just tastes all over the place. So they have really opened me up to different genres, and it's just been so much fun. So I wanted to mention those. And then the last thing I'll mention is these book prizes. So it's the International Booker Long List right now. The short list comes out, I think this coming week on the 18th or something. And the women's prize for fiction is also the long list is out. And I think that's where Homesick is. And the birthday party is definitely on the International Booker long list. And so I wanted to ask how many of you check out the books on the long lists when they come out. Which prizes do you pay attention to and that you read? Or do you wait for the short list to come out and then maybe get interested in some books there? Cursed Bread also is one of the other books. For me, I do like to see long lists, especially the International Booker, because it definitely gets me to look for books in the library that I don't know about, or maybe I haven't heard about. And then I get more interested as it's narrowed down to a short list. I don't have any compulsion to read all the books on the lists. I'm connected to many people on Bookstagram who do, and that's really fun for me. If I'm reading a book that they're reviewing, I'm not normally reading what they're saying until after I'm done. But it does get me to explore books in the library, and I'm very fortunate that my library just orders a ton of books, period, that I can get my hands on them. So really that's what I was interested in knowing. Leave me your feedback in the comments. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next one.